So you're a side mount diver and often look at other people's regulator setup and wonder why theirs is neat and tidy and yours looks like a bird's nest? Well, watching this video will arm you with the knowledge and the confidence of why they do it and how you can look as good. Hi, I'm Andy the Northern Diver and welcome to another video in this series of scuba diving tutorials where I'll be showing you how to configure your side mount regulators like my instructor told me. Big shout out to Gary Dallas. If this is your first time here then don't forget to hit the subscribe button below, that way you can see all the other videos we made in this series. And next up you can see there's a little bell icon, clicking that will give you a notification every time we post any more videos on YouTube. But if you haven't got an account you won't be able to do this, so I've posted a little link just up here that'll take you to a video that I made. It'll take you 2 minutes to set up an account. Doing that you can like, comment and subscribe to any content you see on YouTube, and in doing that you can even set up your own channel. Don't forget to stick around to the end where I will be giving you my top tip. So first of all, we're going to be using the left hand cylinder. That's the one we clip up first, so it makes sense to go through it first. You see my hose routing is nice and tidy, and that's thanks to using Apeks DST, but any turret style first stage regulator will do, as long as it's got this sort of 5th port addition, which allows me to have my suit inflation hose coming out of there, and the turret allows movement of that hose to make it neat and tidy and not really put any kinks or any undue pressure on the hoses. You can see from underneath the regulator then I've got my high pressure hose, which gives me the gauge reading. It's about 6 to 7 inches that. It just makes it easy to bend it round, have a look and let it go and then tuck it away. So now with the hose deployed you can see it's pointing upwards, which would be the general configuration, perhaps out slightly. And I've put a 90-degree bend on the side of the second stage regulator, just allows it much easier sort of hose routing and keeps it nice and tidy. So it's not got any big sort of snag hazards. We've also put on there a necklace just so you can wear that around the head whilst you're not using your second stage. From your other cylinder you'll be deploying this, but it just allows easy access to that should you need to and when you need to. So to stow this away nice and tidy, what I like to do is get the 90-degree bend and put it over the valve cap on the edge of the valve. And I like to have the bottom of the regulator pointing upwards. I get the bungee cord, pull it through the valve handle, so between the valve handle and the first stage regulator, pulling it around the front, making sure to avoid the low pressure inflator hose, and pulling it over the top of the second stage, which will keep that nice and neat in place. And then the hose routing, tuck it away in the hose retaining band, nice and tidy. And what it's not doing, it's not got any kinks or bends or any undue force put on that hose, just nice and tidy. Then I'll use the first stage regulator to carry the cylinder and move it to wherever I need to. So moving on to my right hand side cylinder, you can see this is pretty much configured in exactly the same way. The main difference with this is there's no necklace on the second stage, no 90-degree bend on the side of it between the hose, and this has got a 2.1 meter hose on there. So in deploying the hose you'll notice it just comes out without any undue force, and it's not impeded or twisted or kinked or tangled because of the configuration, which I'll go through shortly. You can see that the gauge is mounted in exactly the same configuration, and on the 5th port you can see my inflation hose that would normally deployed into my wing. On the side of the second stage that I've fitted a bolt snap on there, that's so I can clip it off when it's not in use. If you want to know how to do that, there's earlier videos, I'll post a link just here. All I've deployed is about 1 meter of that hose, that's just for my use. So as I'm using it, it'll wrap around my head. I can use it like this, and then when I'm not using it, I can clip it up. So to put it away, first things first, what I do, this is an addition I made to this setup, is I've got approximately 12 inches of bungee, and with the 2 tails together, I've just put a little zip tie on there. So I feed the tails between the high and low pressure hose, pulling them out, I'll clip off that regulator. I'll feed the tails round to the back of the cylinder, pulling on it and a twist into it, I'll put it over the valve end cap. Next then, I'll just push the low pressure hose back towards the valve, and I'll tuck the mouthpiece behind the high pressure hose. And I'll try and encapsulate that by bringing that low pressure hose back towards it. Now you can see there's a natural bend in this hose, which makes it really easy stow it back in place with the hose retaining straps. So my top tip for this then, I would only ever use the miflex type braided hoses for this configuration. So purely because if you're underwater trying to stow those hoses back into your retaining straps or in deployment initially, the sort of braiding of them hoses just seems to run through all these straps a lot easier than the rubber ones do. Doesn't matter so much whether you're using them on your low pressure or high pressure hoses for your inflation or your gauges, but certainly in deploying the second stage regulators, braided hoses just work so much easier. So I hope this video has been of some use to you. If it is, please give me a thumbs up. If there's any comments you want to leave, whether you do something slightly different or you've always wondered how to do this and you want to say thanks very much, just put them in the comments box below and I always get back to everybody. And don't forget to subscribe because you'll see loads more content along the same sort of lines of where I can help you, or maybe you can comment and help me a little bit. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.
See you on Insta.